I'm feeling just great. I'm very excited. This is it's coming together very nicely. We're getting ready to get sworn in, working on those details, but I'm feeling terrific, and I can't wait to get to work.
And what kind of feedback have you been getting from people around this area so far?
Well, as you saw, we went into the Crystal. People were very happy, and that's the feeling I'm getting as I'm traveling around and chatting with people.
Good night's sleep,
a better night's sleep than the night before.
And I know on election day it was pretty close. I mean, what were you feeling on election night?
Well, as you can imagine, we were watching the results carefully, but it seemed to be trending in the right direction all night, and we were very happy that the results came in as they did.
Do you have any concerns that making this election official, getting it certified, could lead to a long delay in getting sworn in?
No, we don't think that that's the case. Since Mr. Hoffman conceded, it's somewhat unlikely that we'll have a long delay. And since we're only talking about, 2 days out now, it's moving along at a good pace.
What are your feelings on Didi Skozafava coming out and endorsing you? I mean, I spoke to her yesterday, and she stands by her decision, and she says she feels better knowing that you won this election.
Well, as I've said several times in the last couple of days, Assemblywoman Skozafava and I share some core values. We believe in independence. We believe that things should be done in a nonpartisan way, and that we're acting in the best interest of our constituents. We disagree on some issues, but the core values that we share are the same. So I was delighted to get her endorsement.
Is she someone you'd want to continue to work with?
I want to work with everybody in the district. That is, I've started making calls to all the elected officials and many other folks, telling them that I'm prepared to sit down and talk about their issues as soon as they are available.
Can I ask you a preemptive question? Next fall, would you be willing to agree to next time doing some more debates?
Well, we'll work together to get that done with whoever the candidate or candidates are.
Have you been talking with any of the House leadership since the election?
No, I actually haven't talked to any of the leadership. I received a few congratulatory phone calls that night, but they were just that. There was no substantive conversation.
What's the schedule in terms of going down to Washington? Have you been there yet since been elected?
No, I have not. Actually, we're awaiting word as to the swearing-in process, and we're going to be sort of adjusting our schedule as we go along because we don't know how that's going to fall out.
Are you going to be sworn in before Saturday? The reason I ask about Saturday is the health care bill is supposed to come up on Saturday. Do you know?
I don't know the answer to that yet. We're still working our way through that process.
And what did
As soon as we know, we'll let you know.
What did Hoffman say to you when he called you on election night?
It was simply an exchange of pleasantries. Mr. Hoffman indicated that he was congratulating me on my victory. I congratulated him on his campaign, and that essentially ended the conversation. It lasted 30, 45 seconds.
Were you surprised at how well a conservative candidate could have done in this election?
Was I surprised? I don't know that I was surprised. We saw that the process as it unfolded was, from our perspective, he was talking about being a real Republican, not really talking about being a conservative. So I'm not sure where he fit in that category, so I'm not sure I would describe it as a conservative activity. He talked about himself as the real Republican.
Jude mentioned a little bit about Saturday. How comfortable are you, if you are in during that time frame, with making your voice heard on that bill? And then what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I'm reading rapidly. There's quite a bit of material to come. I'm trying to get through that. I have been for the past 12 hours or so. As I've indicated before, I think that this is a historic movement forward. I'm reviewing the bill. I think that it does many of the things that I thought needed to be done. There are some things that I would like to see changed in the bill. And so I'm going through the process of making sure that I have a full understanding before I make a final decision.
Do you feel comfortable to be ready to at least know enough about it by Saturday?
I'm working very hard at getting there.
Let's do 2 more, guys.
Have you heard from John McHugh?
I have not heard from
Okay.
the secretary.
Do you know anything about the transfer of files from his office to yours? I mean, I imagine there's a lot of active, open things that he was working on when he left. that you would be perhaps taking over? Do you know anything about that?
I honestly don't. That's a process we started yesterday afternoon, having discussions with his office, having discussions with the Speaker's office about those issues, and I just don't have the information yet. I'm anticipating we'll have his full cooperation in moving files.
Besides the chief of staff, you hired anybody else?
I have not.
Bill, a slim majority of voters on Tuesday did not vote for you. What do you have to say to them about how you're going to move forward?
Well, obviously, as I said in response to the question about the elected officials, I'm going to work with everybody to get the job done. I pledge to do it in a nonpartisan way, to be independent, and to represent everybody in the district. And that's how I intend to operate. Whether or not someone supported me or didn't is irrelevant at this point.
Thanks, guys.